a safe environment really fosters so much more than just a place to live. It has a much greater impact on people's education and health, and even work, what kind of work they're going to be looking for.
Housing is the platform of doing better, of being fulfilled and being productive members of our region, of our communities.
The market rate housing for the rental market has been going up every year for the last 8 years.
Housing has always been a real big issue and a priority of mine. When I lived in Barrio Logan, I lived there my whole life up until the age of 17 when our property was sold. My parents were renters. They were never able to buy a home. And so where we were renting, the landlord, the property owner died. And so the property was being sold. And at that time it was sold and my parents were not able to buy the property.
The nicer it gets, the higher the property values go up. So that's a difficult problem. And I don't know that anybody has an answer to it, because you want to make your community nicer, but yet you don't want to be priced out of the place you've lived all your life.
I would love for people that already live in this community to be able to stay. That to me is really important. The fiber of a community is important.
Characters of our community are defined by the families and the people that live there. And when you start to push people out because of the result of what's happening in the lack of housing affordability, you start to lose the character of a community, you start to lose the essence of a community, and you also start to make communities that are not for everyone.
We all need to work together in order to alleviate this housing crisis that we have here in the city. And the housing crisis is basically because we're not building enough homes. And when I say homes, I mean everything. Affordable housing, I mean middle-income housing, I'm talking about micro units, I'm talking about everything.
Right now we need to focus on permanent housing, not shelters in Barrio Logan. Let's use that money for permanent housing.
It's not a downtown or a Sherman Heights or Logan Heights issue. It's a San Diego issue. Every community needs to participate in helping.
It's not how San Diegans treat their population. So I want to make sure that there is resources available for the moms, resources available for veterans, and resources available for people who do have mental health issues.
You can't solve the regional housing crisis with a project. You can't solve our housing crisis with a tent project.
Councilmember Alvarez is one of the few who's actually stood up and pushed back against these Band-Aid solutions that are likely to lead nowhere. He understands that in order to solve crises such as the homelessness crisis on our streets in San Diego, that we need real solutions.
I hope that young leaders who understand the sense of collaboration, as we said that Councilman Alvarez did with Scott Sherman was a great thing. Keep it up.
David played a big role in being able to secure the funding for this development. He had a personal interest in it, but also that was the district that he was serving.
Councilman Alvarez's office was always a very strong supporter. As I mentioned, he was involved early in as a community member and still lives in the neighborhood. But he was a real advocate for the project, helped us kind of broker the last couple meetings that were required to fill that last funding gap, and then was a strong proponent, all along.
I think the City Council can focus on policies, and we're doing that. I'm really proud that we're trying to streamline processes. We're trying to make things like building additional units a lot easier and simpler. That's all good, and we should do that. But the scale to which we need to respond to this problem, you're not going to fix it with little tweaks here and there of the law or changes in policy. You're going to have to find a way to allow for more housing to be developed.
Comp 22 project is really the first major redevelopment in the Logan Heights, Sherman Heights community in about 30 years when it happened. There had been some redevelopment in Barrio Logan, quite a bit, a few affordable housing projects, a lot of retail, but really this side of the freeway had been very little activity. And so I think what the community really wanted was something to happen here to turn this site into something that could be a benefit to the community.
And so now this development has family rental, senior rental, a preschool, a clinic, and other community serving retail, but it also has 11 homes for sale.